A man is declared clinically dead. His heart has stopped. Doctors rush around the room. Machines alarm. Nurses begin emergency procedures. For several minutes, there is no measurable consciousness, no awareness, no signs that the mind should still be functioning. Yet later, after being revived, the man describes everything: the voices, the equipment, the exact sequence of events, even details he should never have been able to see. And he is not alone. For centuries, people have reported a phenomenon so strange that it continues to challenge science, religion, and our understanding of reality itself. What happens when consciousness leaves the body? It is one of humanity's oldest questions. Every civilization has tried to answer it. Ancient Egyptians believed consciousness continued its journey into another realm. Hindus described the soul leaving the physical body and entering a cycle beyond ordinary existence. Greeks imagined consciousness surviving death in another form. Nearly every culture developed stories about what happens when awareness separates from the body. For most of history, these ideas belonged to religion and philosophy. Then modern medicine complicated everything, because for the first time, people were being brought back from death, and some returned with stories that nobody expected. The modern mystery begins in hospital rooms around the world. As medical technology improved during the 20th century, doctors became increasingly capable of reviving patients who would previously have died permanently. Cardiac arrests, traumatic injuries, near-fatal accidents. Suddenly, people were returning from the edge of death, and many of them reported remarkably similar experiences. Regardless of culture, language, age, or belief system, certain patterns appeared again and again. First came separation. Many described floating above their bodies, observing medical staff working below. They reported seeing themselves from impossible perspectives, watching emergency procedures unfold as though they were spectators rather than patients. Then came movement, a sensation of traveling through darkness, often described as a tunnel. Then light, not ordinary light, a presence, warmth, peace, an overwhelming sense of familiarity. Many described encountering deceased relatives, spiritual beings, or intelligences that seemed impossible to explain. Others reported life reviews where memories unfolded with extraordinary clarity. Moments long forgotten returned instantly. Every action, every decision, every consequence. Some described feeling connected to everything, as if individual identity dissolved into something far larger. And then suddenly, they returned, back into their bodies, back into pain, back into ordinary reality. For decades, scientists dismissed these accounts as hallucinations. The explanation seemed straightforward. A dying brain under extreme stress produces unusual experiences. Case closed. But then researchers noticed something unsettling. The stories were often remarkably consistent, not identical, but similar enough to raise questions. And in certain cases, patients described details they should not have known. One famous example involved a patient who accurately recalled conversations and medical procedures occurring while she appeared clinically unconscious. Another described objects located in areas she supposedly could not see. These cases remain controversial. Skeptics argue that memory, perception, and reconstruction can explain many reports. Supporters believe some experiences suggest consciousness may function independently of normal brain activity. The debate continues today, and no consensus exists, because consciousness itself remains a mystery. Modern neuroscience has made extraordinary progress understanding the brain. Scientists can observe neural activity, map brain regions, track electrical signals, identify systems responsible for memory, language, emotion, and perception. Yet one problem remains unsolved. How does awareness emerge at all? Why does matter become conscious? How do billions of neurons produce the experience of being you? This question is known as the hard problem of consciousness, and despite decades of research, nobody has solved it. Scientists understand how the brain processes information. They do not understand why that processing creates subjective experience. The mystery becomes even stranger when considering near-death experiences, because some reports occur during periods when measurable brain activity appears severely reduced. This has led some researchers to propose controversial theories. Perhaps consciousness is not produced by the brain. Perhaps the brain acts more like a receiver, a filter, a translator. According to this idea, Consciousness exists independently, and the brain allows access to it. When the filter weakens, unusual experiences become possible. Most mainstream scientists remain skeptical. There is currently no conclusive evidence proving consciousness survives bodily death. Yet there is also no complete explanation for consciousness itself, and that uncertainty leaves room for mystery. Ancient traditions would find this familiar. For thousands of years, spiritual teachings described the body as a temporary vessel rather than the source of awareness. Mystics claimed consciousness could expand beyond ordinary perception through meditation, contemplation, and altered states. Some described experiences remarkably similar to modern near-death reports. Feelings of unity, timelessness, dissolution of self, connection to something greater. Whether these similarities reveal deeper truths or simply common features of human psychology remains unknown. Then there are out-of-body experiences. Unlike near-death events, these sometimes occur during sleep, meditation, trauma, or even spontaneously. Individuals report perceiving themselves outside their physical bodies while remaining conscious. Researchers studying these phenomena have discovered that stimulating certain brain regions can trigger sensations of separation from the body. This suggests at least some experiences may originate neurologically. Yet the question remains, why does the brain possess the ability to generate such profound experiences at all? What purpose do they serve? And why do they feel so real? Many people who undergo near-death experiences describe them as more vivid than waking life. Colors appear brighter, thoughts become clearer. Awareness feels expanded rather than diminished. This is perhaps the most surprising detail. If consciousness depends entirely on a failing brain, why do so many reports describe heightened awareness rather than confusion? Scientists continue searching for answers. Some theories focus on oxygen deprivation, others point to neurotransmitter surges. Still others examine changes in brain network activity during extreme stress. Each explanation accounts for certain aspects, none explains everything, and so the mystery survives, not because science has failed, but because consciousness remains one of the greatest unanswered questions in existence. Every scientific discovery occurs within consciousness. Every observation, every theory, every measurement. The very tool we use to investigate reality is itself poorly understood. That realization has led some philosophers to a surprising conclusion. Consciousness may be the deepest mystery in the universe. Not black holes, not dark matter, not distant galaxies. Awareness itself, the thing reading these words, the thing experiencing existence, the thing asking questions. Perhaps future science will eventually explain exactly what happens when consciousness leaves the body. Perhaps near-death experiences will be fully understood as brain processes, or perhaps humanity is only beginning to understand the true nature of awareness. For now, nobody knows. And that uncertainty is what makes the question so powerful, because one day every human being will face the same mystery, the same boundary, the same unknown. What happens when consciousness leaves the body? Despite thousands of years of philosophy, religion, and science, the honest answer remains surprisingly simple. We don't know. But the search for that answer may ultimately reveal more about the nature of reality than any other question humanity has ever asked.